के ठीक बाद हम ऑन बोर्ड सेल्स शुरू करेंगे। आपसे निवेदन है कि इस दौरान जो प्रोडक्ट्स आप खरीदना चाहें उन्हें पसंद करें। हम आपको बताना चाहेंगे कि हमारे इंस्टॉलेशन गाइड भी उपलब्ध है। अगर आपको किसी प्रकार की सहायता की आवश्यकता हो तो आप कृपया हमारे विमान कर्मी दल से संपर्क करें। ध्यान देने के लिए धन्यवाद।
So the next few days is going to be really interesting. I hope to bring you guys stories from this side of the country. Kerala is extremely beautiful. Monsoon is just about to set in. We are in Fort Kochi now. We're going to explore the place and see what we can find.
This side of Kochi takes you back in time to the 14th century when the Portuguese landed here. The many churches here are reminiscent of their cultural influence. Some were mesmerizing and some iconic. Speaking of iconic churches, this is the St. Francis CSI Church. And it houses the tomb of the famous Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama. It is said that he arrived in Cochin in 1502, and when he died in 1524, he was first buried here. Later his remains were transferred to Lisbon, where they lie in the monastery of Hieronymus ever since. All the walking around Fort Kochi had made us very hungry. So we decided to stop by the same restaurant we'd visited some 2 years ago. We liked the place because they served one of the finest Kerala thalis we've had.
So this is the entry to the harbour. This one is naturally created. There was an epic flood in the Periyar lake that opened this entire thing, and the ships come into ground from there and enter the harbour here. Pretty epic spot, check it out.
The Fort Kochi beach is rocky. It makes for a great vantage point to watch the ships go past by as the sun sets into the Arabian Sea. You must, however, come here early morning to witness the Chinese fishing nets at work. The walkway on its shoreline bustles with people in the evening. You have the tourists in great numbers and hawkers of all kinds selling snacks and souvenirs.
Why is he crying?
No, we're feeding him.
Well, that's not a happy face. Cause by now, the baby was freaking out from all the travel and summer heat. So we decided to call it a day and keep the rest for the next day. The next morning, we found ourselves navigating the narrow lanes of the Jew town, which is in Mutton Sherry. The shops on both sides of the roads were famous for antiques of all sizes. Check this large snake boat for instance. These are used in the popular boat race that is conducted during the harvest festival of Onam. On our way to the synagogue, we were fortunate enough to pass by an embroidery shop which belonged to one of the last Pardesi Jews of Kochi, Sarah Cohen. She is fondly known as Sarah Auntie, and this board has some pictures of her life depicting the bygone moments of a glorious past. We saw her sitting clutching onto her book of Jewish hymn. I really wanted to speak to her, for I had seen the documentary of her life story online, but she was old and was probably not in the mood. I remember my mom mentioning for all the atrocities that the Jews have faced worldwide, they live in fear. We left the place wondering.
Unfortunately, there's no photography allowed inside the synagogue, so there's not much that I could show you.
By now, it was time for us to leave Kochi, and we had a train to catch, but we still hadn't picked some spices. So we took some local help and landed at this shop. If you visit Kochi, don't miss the spice market. The flavors here will tell you why we were on the map of the ancient spice route. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please comment below, subscribe to the channel and share the video with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, don't forget to live life with a dash of adventure.
Isn't this view amazing?